I was just opening the curtains in here because this was our living room at the time. And as I opened the curtains, so I saw somebody come to my gate. We were told MI5, but I'm not sure, I don't know, because we were never allowed to know their names. And they started searching everywhere. There was one person in each room. Just seemed to be people everywhere. It was horrible. I didn't even know that he'd gone until one of them spoke to my children and said that your brother's gone. It's just been so hard, and still is hard. And everywhere you go, you think people are looking at you, and people who used to ask how he was or how we were just don't bother asking anymore. Some people have crossed the road. There's a Muslim couple that we used to live next door, but one too, who I approached about getting a personal reference. And they don't even speak to us, don't acknowledge us. You go into shops and you know people once you come out, they're talking. But yeah, my son got bail on 5,000. He had to be tagged and he had a curfew. None of us were allowed internet access. We weren't allowed to have it in the house. No mobile phones with internet access, which the children obviously found hard to cope with, because especially my youngest one, because she's doing her GCSEs. And besides the fact that she still goes to the school where he went, even some of the teachers have turned their back on her. Like I said, my eldest is suffering from depression and stress. My youngest boy he keeps everything inside. He never comes to me, very, very rarely comes to me with a problem. But you can see it building up in him. My youngest girl, she started self-harming 2 years ago. But the day that he phoned me to say that they were putting him in prison, I had to slap her because she went hysterical. But it's all to do with my older boy and the stress we've all been under. And now we've got the added stress of having to find somewhere else to live. Of course, with all this going on, I started suffering from depression, stress and anxiety. My hair fell out because of all the debt, because of my debts I built up with my depression and all. I was just putting the letters away, and a lot of the children in the school that I worked in know us as a family. And I couldn't face seeing the children and answering their questions. So I was put on the sick. And in the November, I was told that they couldn't keep me on, so I lost my job. My eldest daughter had to explain to the job centre that she was ill because she was suffering from depression. And she was told at the job centre that because of her brother's charge, she would never get a job. And she said, well, my mum's already lost her job. And they said, well, she'll never get another one either. So I've been unemployed since. Can we stop for a minute, please? And to be honest with you, last year I nearly died. But yeah, they said if I hadn't gone to the doctors that morning, 4:00 in the afternoon, the children would have been phoning an ambulance because I would have passed out and probably not recovered. And I remember saying to him as I was going in for my operation, just leave me. don't bother. And knowing that now I think back and I think I might not have seen him again at all. And knowing that he's got similar sort of thoughts going through his mind. He told me he feels like just getting up on the barriers and throwing himself off. And he feels he's disgraced the family. And when he was first put into Belmarsh, he rang me one Saturday morning and told me not to bother visiting. He didn't want to see us. And I just went hysterical on the phone. But we've never had anything. We've never had any support from anywhere. Until my son was able to get in touch with, or he gave me the number for HHUGS. So I know there's somebody at the end of the line that I can speak to if I need to. And they have been marvellous, I must admit. And I thought, no, that perhaps you could lead me towards other help. And to be fair, you have. More than anybody. Because, like I said, the family aren't really concerned. Friends, family, people that I used to work with don't want to know. There's one woman I used to work with lives just up the road. She's driven past me 4 or 5 times, and I was very close to her when I worked in the school. You just feel like you're abandoned by everybody you thought mattered. And they don't matter. I'm coming to the conclusion they don't matter. Like I say, we've got no support in our society, in our neighbourhood. I mean, the neighbours next door, they'd have threatened to kill us. He was going to slash all our throats. But HHUGS have been wonderful. They have been wonderful. Like I say, just knowing there's somebody there at the end of the phone that can empathise with what you're going through. They know what you're on about and probably heard similar stories. Shopping wise as well, they helped me out with my shopping. Gave me a student card for Asda's. Sometimes I really haven't got 2 pennies to rub together, but they have been a lifesaver. And not just money, not just the money. It's not the money that counts. What I'm more grateful for is just knowing that there's people there. Like I said, there's somebody to talk to. I've spoken to a couple of people from HHUGS. Oh, she's such a lovely girl. When she came here, she was so lovely. And you speak to her and she'll text me, "Hey, lovely." And you think, oh, it's so nice, you know. You kind of, gratitude is all I can say. I'm so grateful.